Welcome to Everything Men, where we discuss and review everything pertaining to men. I'm your host Desmond, and today I have a haircut tutorial for you. Okay, to start off, I'm gonna brush my son's hair all down even, making sure I'm brushing it with the grain and concentrating on that swirl to make sure everything is laying down as it naturally should. So I'm going with the brush and make sure all the hairs are laying down, and I'm going to do the entire haircut with my Andes with the lever open with no guard. Okay, I got it all brushed down. So now I'm gonna go in starting at the side with the lever open, and I'm gonna go over the entire head. I'm trying to concentrate, make sure that I'm getting all the hairs, and I'm gonna go around the entire head, making sure everything is nice and even. Now when I'm doing this, I'm not putting the entire blade against the scalp. I'm mainly using the edge of the blade. Sometimes I use the whole blade. For this, it's a pretty simple haircut. It's pretty straightforward. All I'm doing is making sure I'm getting all of the bulk in one shot, and I'm going back and forth to make sure I got all the hair. It's pretty simple. Anyone can do it. This is going to save you of a lot of money. I've done the math over the years. It's going to save you, depending on how many kids. One kid is probably going to save you about $1,200 per year, depending on your barber. I think a lot of barbers charge maybe 10 to 15 per child. So, I mean, you do the math. There's 52 weeks in a year. This is going to save you parents a whole lot of money. If you just go in and invest, and you take it upon yourself to do your child's hair, to cut your child's hair, it works out in the long run. Okay, so I got all the sides down. So now I'm going to go up top, still going against the grain. And I'm going to take off all that bulk on top. It's pretty straightforward. And you also have to remember, when you get by that swirl, in the back, all the hair is going in different directions. It's like a little hurricane in the back. So you want to make sure when you're cutting that swirl, you're going against the grain, following the hairs, going against the grain, so that you get it down all even. So now I'm finishing up the top. Like I said, cutting against the grain with the lever open, and it's really easy to do. You don't have to worry about gouging your kid, having spots in it that are too low, because it's all being cut down at the same length. So now I'm gonna give it a brush, and then I'm gonna go back over it to make sure I've got everything nice and even. I'm gonna brush it up real good. Making sure all those hairs are going with the grain, and I'm gonna come back and go back and make sure everything is cut down even. Give it one more pass. Okay, now I'm going to brush it down one more time and I'm going to get ready for the lining process. And usually when I do the linings, I start in the middle and I work my way to one side. And you also want to take a step back and look at it, make sure that it's nice and straight, the line is nice and straight, because you get a better view of it when you take a step back. So starting in the middle, and I'm going to work my way to the left. Once I get that line like I like it, then you come down with the clippers with your liners, and then you get off those fine hairs on the forehead. Now you can't see it, I was doing that side corner. Now I'm going back, starting from the middle, going to the right. I'm gonna stop at that corner, then I'm gonna do that side corner. And right now I'm using I'm using about half the blade. I'm not using the whole blade, but I'm gonna use half the blade, not quite the corner. And then I'm gonna go off to that side and cut down that side, making sure that everything is nice and crisp. And now I'm going over to the side where it curves over your eye, and I'm only using the corner of the blade to get a nice curve. Now I'm going on the other side, and I'm gonna repeat and try to copy what I did on his right side. Only using the corner of the blade, I'm going to make it nice and curved. You have a little bit more control when you use the corner of the blade. That's how you're able to make those nice round curves rather than sharp angles. Now I'm taking the Andes T outliners, I'm going over and I'm going to create a part on the side and the left side up top. And when you do the part, you want to flip the blades over and get the underside of the part too, to make sure that line is nice and crisp. Now I'm going back over the lining, making sure everything's nice and straight. Like I say, you have to take a step back. Now I'm using the style liners because they don't cut as close, and I'm going to get the back of his neck. Most of the time the back of your kid's neck is going to be the most sensitive, so you don't want to go in and use anything too sharp. So these haven't been zero gap, so that's what I'm going to use those to go around the back, giving them a nice crisp line in the back. Because if I was to use the T outliners that have been zero gap, there's a chance that I may cut them in the back, and I don't want to risk that. This is very simple. If you take your time and you do it properly, you go through the proper steps, you take your time, eventually with time, if you do it enough, you will gain a little speed. But it's all about taking your time and making sure everything is nice and fresh, making sure you cut all those little hairs, and you'll get results like this. He's happy. Gonna give him a little spin around. Everything's nice and even. Little part on the side. Lining is nice and crisp. He likes it. just want to go over it one more time to make sure everything's nice and straight. And I got all those little faint hairs. He loves it. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, Dill. Check you out. And that's my haircut tutorial. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.